Hey, what is up, everyone? And today we're talking about the new special premium audio that's coming to Sea of Thieves pretty soon. So obviously I'm going to be taking a look at this in Insider, but we're going to compare it to some of just the normal audio that we currently have. So what is this new audio that we're getting? Essentially, it's just more enhanced spatial audio. And this is supposed to give greater immersion and precision within like the 360 degrees around your character. Now, in theory, this should be a pretty cool addition to the game with how immersive Sea of Thieves already is. To have something that will take that to the next level is a nice concept. There is a bit of disagreement in terms of how they're implementing it and some of the iffy monetization practices that they're doing with this, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to see is, does this even work, and is it even worth getting in the first place? So let's go ahead and try this out. In order to unlock these settings, you just go into the settings menu like you'd expect, and then go down to enhanced headphone mode. This is a new tab that we have here. And we have some options here that you aren't able to access yet. And we're going to go ahead and go to view setup, which has this little bit of a menu, and you'll be able to see turning on enhanced headphone mode takes your Sea of Thieves experience to a whole new level. What you get: upgraded personalized profile, enhanced 360 degrees spatial precision, coconut headband cosmetic. So this is a new headpiece cosmetic that you get, which kind of a cool addition. And then you get to choose from 100 headphones for the ultimate accuracy. So obviously for this video, you're going to want to have headphones on. I'm not sure how it's going to come across in the recording, but hopefully you'll be able to hear the same thing I'm hearing if you're wearing headphones. Now, to answer the question about what particular headphones I'm wearing the Bose 700 noise canceling headphones. That's what I've always used for Sea of Thieves, but it should be pretty accurate for any set of headphones. So we're going to head and first we're going to listen to the demo, and then we're going to try the free trial just to see what it's actually like. Alright, so we would try to listen to the demo and both of us be able to hear what is going on with this, but obviously it's not working. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and get the free trial so we can actually start testing it out. So I'm going to go through the steps to set this up, and then we'll hop into the game and see how it goes. Alright, with this set up, we're going to go ahead and select the headphones that we have. So we'll do Bose. Maybe they don't have that. I'll try to scroll for it. You know, they say they got all these different headphones, but there's no Bose headphones on here. I'm not even really sure what to use. I guess to close back, I guess, is the best one to use for it. Already, I'm a little bit disappointed because they say they have all these headphones options, but they have no headphone options for Bose, which is one of the biggest headphone brands that I know of. So can't say that I'm too impressed yet, to be honest. So let's go ahead and confirm those settings. Setup complete. Will let us watch the demo now? Nope. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and hop in the game. We're gonna start here and hear what it sounds like currently, and then I'll hop into the retail version of Sea of Thieves so that we can see what it's like without the audio, what it basically currently is now. And we'll try to do a good comparison of doing some stuff with this new audio setup and then some stuff without the audio setup. And then hopefully both you and me will be able to hear if there's any difference or if it sounds better with this audio enhancement. Now again, obviously, it's still technically in Insiders. It looks like it's pretty close to being released because they said it was coming out pretty soon to the retail version. So I would assume that this is mostly done in terms of development. So I think this would be a fair time to go ahead and review it. I let it sit for about a week or so after they had introduced it into Insiders, just because I wanted to give them a little bit of time to fix any bugs that might have been there initially. So we'll go ahead and try this out and see what we got. Alright, so this first test we're going to do is we're just going to walk past here where you should be able to start hearing the hammering sound as we go by. We also got a little bit of thunder that you can hear from that too. We're gonna go over here just so you can kind of hear. Alright, so we're gonna try doing a similar test as before. We're just gonna walk by this and see if we hear a difference, and I'll do a comparison to each of these as we go along. So far, to me, just my own ears, I'm not really hearing anything that significant. The next we're going to do is I want to head over and hear like something big, like an explosion. So we're going to head over to a skeleton fort and just take a look at that. I was listening to this a little bit before I started recording again, and honestly, I really can't hear anything other than what you would normally hear from stereo sound. So this, if you're used to wearing headphones when playing Sea of Thieves like I am, I'm not really hearing much different. Now, if you are used to not using headphones, if you're used to like just listening from a speaker, you might be hearing a difference if you're wearing headphones, but that's just because you're not used to hearing stereo sound from the headphones. Nothing that I've heard so far has sounded that different from what I'm used to. In all honesty, the only thing I'm really hearing is stuff being a little bit louder, and I don't know how to describe it, but I'm almost like getting a little bit of a migraine from something that they're doing, some kind of like weird soundingness to the audio. It almost is giving me a bit of a migraine to listen to it. So I'm not too happy with this so far, but I do want to give it more of a chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and I just want to hear what it sounds like to have a tech explode. And then the last test we're going to do is we're just going to go try to find skeletons to fight and just see what that's like to have like stuff shooting at us and hearing it. Maybe we can hear like bullets flying past us or something interesting along those lines. Alright, so I see this little skeleton here, so let's just hear what it sounds like when we're digging up stuff and what the skeleton sounds like when it's near us. So if I'm being charitable, it sounded like there was a little bit more depth to the sound, the music that played when we dug that up, but otherwise I'm not really hearing too much different. Here, you can hold this. Alright, so let's try to get that skeleton. Yeah, I didn't really think this through. Take that. Put that right here. So, like, you hear the skeleton's footsteps, and it sounds louder than it should be. I think once we go into retail and we'll try to listen to it again, it just sounds like they made the footsteps louder, and it's not really the spatial sound. It's like not really having any special effect. It's just making the footsteps louder and not really doing anything unique with it. I don't think I'm getting that much different of an experience compared to stereo sound that you normally get from your headphones. But let's go ahead and hear what this explosion sounds like. So, I don't know if y'all heard anything different, but I didn't hear anything different from this. Well, that was obviously a lot bigger of an explosion than we had in the other test, but I do feel like I felt a little bit of a difference with that one. It felt like a lot quieter, but I don't know if it was really that different in terms of like the spatial effect that you're supposed to be hearing with like a keg explosion or something like that. Now, one thing we're looking for is if we can hear things more like that. We can basically tell the distance between sound too. That's part of what we're looking for with this spatial sound. And I kind of do, but I also feel like they just made the footsteps louder, which means that, you know, instead of what it used to be, like, it is quieter from a distance, I can tell that, but they've also made it louder close up, so I don't really like that change. Okay. So for our last test, we're gonna head over to fight some skeletons and see if we can tell anything different. Alright, so here on the island, we're gonna find our skeletons. You're kind of hearing a little bit of the music, but also you should be hearing that mermaid statue a bit. There we go. I'm hoping that we can get some skeletons with flames on them so that they could maybe shoot by us. I feel like the best thing I'm hearing right now is just the music. The music sounds like it's a lot more depth, but everything else doesn't really sound different. Now that sounded a little bit different. You might want to rewind if you missed it. That did sound a bit different to me, at least, when I slashed through those skeletons at the end there. So you can't tell a bit with the gun shooting. You can kind of tell from the audio where it's coming from, but you could always kind of tell where they were shooting from before. So we're gonna have to compare it when we get into retail to see, is it actually that different? Is it actually that beneficial? I think the closer the audio is, the less of a difference you're gonna notice. But the further it is away, I think that's more where you'll notice a difference. So we'll do this for a little bit longer, and then we'll hop over to retail. So you can also kind of hear my jumps in the water there. They don't really sound like they're below me, at least to me they sound almost like they're behind me, which maybe if I stop moving forward. Okay, yeah, so you can definitely tell a difference when I'm doing that. If I'm standing still, you can kind of hear the jump right below me. If I jump forward, you have air behind you, and if I'm jumping backward, you hear it a little bit in front of you. So at least that seems like it's working. Alright, so now with all of that tested, I definitely do think I heard a difference between what we currently have in retail and the immersive spatial audio that we're getting soon. But I don't know if it was that big of a difference for me to really think that this is worth the amount of money that they're asking to charge for this. I was really hoping that like with something like this, there'd be a little bit something more that it would just feel more immersive. But all I really found was that stuff that's supposed to be more quiet just sounded louder than it's supposed to be. And in general, I just found honestly I was getting a headache when playing the immersive audio version of this. When I'm playing the regular retail version, I didn't have that same feeling. So maybe it was just me, or maybe there was just something off just the first time I did this. And I'm definitely going to try this again with the free trial when it comes into retail. And if my opinions change, I'll make a follow up video talking about it. But currently, right now, I don't really feel like, just in general, this is a good upgrade for the audio. There is a difference. I'm not saying that it's not doing anything, but it just doesn't feel like it's that impactful to the actual game itself. And in some ways, it's a little bit more detrimental. But here's what I do want to talk about before we end this video is what actually is all going into this and what should you know about it. So they don't really have the price listed here, at least from what I remember. I believe it's going to be about like 10 or 20 bucks. I think they said 20 bucks when they announced it before, but in this current release that I see here, they haven't actually officially said what the price is going to be. You can do a 14-day free trial. You can do it right now on Insiders if you want to try it out for yourself, or when it comes out to the main game, there's going to be a 14-day free trial, and it looks like they're going to have a demo video, which they don't have ready yet, and you'll be able to check that out as well. I wish I could check that out for this video, but since it's not ready, we can't really do anything about it. But the thing that really is frustrating for me with this is that if you pay this like 10 or 20 buck DLC upgrade for this special audio, you only get it for 5 years. 5 years is all you get for that amount of money. Now you could buy a whole new game with that amount of money. I think Silksong just came out on what, that's like 25 bucks, so about 5 bucks more than what you're paying for the audio for Sea of Thieves. There are some people that are criticizing this, saying that it should just be a free addition to the game, and I'm not necessarily saying that either, but I do feel like if they're going to be charging a premium price, then it really does need to be a substantial difference. And I just don't hear anything that interesting or unique with it. It also doesn't help that they claim to have all these different headphones that they support, but they don't have a pretty well used headphone brand like Bose on their list. That's another thing that I can't really overlook in terms of this bit of a review. Now, I don't have it in front of me how much it's going to cost. I think that's going to really factor in. If this was like, you know, 2 bucks to upgrade it, then sure, who cares? That's, like a pack of gum at this point. It's not really that big of a difference. But if they're charging, the 10 or 20 bucks, I'm pretty sure I heard said 20 bucks before, but I don't want to claim that because I don't have it in front of me what it is. Either way, I don't think that's worth it for what you're getting. Now, if you're someone that really loves, collecting everything at Sea of Thieves, you want to have those new headphones that seem to be exclusive to this pack, where you get the little hat in game where you can have like the coconut headphones. Sure, get it if you really want to. But for me, I just really wanted to make a video basically comparing what we currently have in the game versus this, and really showcase if there's actually any significant difference. For me, I don't think it's worth it. But let me know in the comments below, do you think it's worth it? Do you think this is a good update? Or are you one of the people that think this should have been a free update? I'd love to hear your all's thoughts in the comments below, but if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all.